Welcome to Single and Cooking. I would like to welcome you to my B2B video, Back to Basics. Our B2B episode today is going to be how to make your own butter. Now, the way I came upon this is actually quite by accident. I had a couple of friends stay overnight from New Jersey. I was making pancakes. I was making this huge breakfast the next morning. I realized I forgot to go to the store to get butter. And they were all waking up. They were ready to go. And I thought, oh, they want butter on their pancakes. What do I do? So I was looking in the fridge and I was looking online trying to figure out how to make my own butter, and I found heavy cream, which I usually never buy, but I happened to have it in there because I made a recipe with it with someone a week earlier. The beauty of making your own butter is actually you can control the flavor, you can make the butter any flavor that you want, and you can control the salt intake as well. And it is so much creamier than just the regular butter that you buy at the store. So here we go. Some of the tools that you will need to make your own butter, you need either a blender, or I prefer a food processor. It just works a little bit better. Get yourself some cheesecloth, which is actually very inexpensive at the grocery store or just a hardware store or anything like that. Just have a nice little bowl because you're going to be draining your butter. Wait until you see how this works out. And now, if you do not have a food processor, you do not have a blender, and you're in a jam, you can rough it, so to speak, and just grab a jar or a cup or anything like that, put a lid on it, and you could pour the heavy cream in there and shake this baby up for 15 minutes. I mean, quite honestly, I'd rather go to the store, but if you want to go for it, that's the way to go. So we're going to do it a little easier and use this food processor. Just get yourself 2 cups of heavy cream, shake it up, and you're just going to pour the contents right in. The best part about making your own butter, you can flavor it any way you want. If you want to make it more savory, you can put basil in there, you can put parsley. Now it will turn it green. If you put like a green leaf vegetable or certain things, it will turn into that. But today we're actually going to make a breakfast butter, and I'm actually going to use maple sugar. Now if you do not have maple sugar, you can use maple syrup. It will do the same thing. I'm actually going to take 2 to 3 teaspoons and put it right in there. Then you want to put a couple shakes of salt, give it some flavor. You're actually going to be blending this for 6 minutes total. After 3 minutes, it's actually going to turn to whipped cream. So if you wanted to stop there, you can use it for desserts or ice cream, whatever you like. It's going to start to look like this, a little bit of a heavier, thicker consistency. So this is a good time to taste and make sure, is it all the flavors that you want it to be? After 3 minutes, you're going to start to see that that solids will form, and it will be very liquidy. That actual liquid is the buttermilk, so you can actually use that for pancakes and other recipes. And the solids is going to be the actual butter that you've made yourself. Now, after 6 minutes, we are done. Now I want to show you, this is going to be your butter. So we're actually going to remove the blade, remove any excess butter. So now we're going to take the contents. This is your butter, this is all the buttermilk, and we're going to separate the two. So just pour everything into the cheesecloth, and we're going to squeeze out all of that buttermilk like this. Look at that. Whenever I think about making my own butter, I always think of those ladies, those little ladies, centuries and centuries ago, that had their little equipment and they would churn butter all day. And I just think how much easier it is now. We can do it ourselves if we have a food processor, a blender, or a jar. Our butter is ready. Just so you can see, this is all of this fabulous buttermilk that came from it. You can use this for pancake recipes or anything like that. So now what we're going to do is to shape the butter. So we're going to remove the cheesecloth, and it's very soft and creamy, as you can see. We're just going to turn it over. Before you do this, make sure your hands are washed, and then you're just going to shape it in any way that you want. I'm actually just going to shape it into a ball, make it easy, because that's the way I put it in the cheesecloth. And there you go. You have just made homemade butter. With homemade butter, you can leave it in your refrigerator for about 2 days. And then after that, if you still have a lot left over, you can put it in your freezer for up to 3 months. Remember, it's fun to be single and looking, but it is delicious to be single and cooking.